Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for the 2021 U.S. Open. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV and USBC Communications, and we are ready for A Squad to hit the lanes for their final qualifying block. 8 games left to go for A Squad, and then B Squad will wrap up qualifying a little bit later tonight. We'll have our first cut to the top 36 players. That's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, but first, A Squad is going to have their opportunity to hit the lanes on this 44-foot condition, and folks, if you're watching, we had some scores this morning. So after the grind in day 2 on the 40-foot flat condition, this 44-foot pattern has allowed some scores to come around. We saw some big moves in the standings, and we got a few new leaders. So we got some new scores up through 24 games for C Squad. Matt Sanders moving into the top spot. He is plus 512. Chris Barnes, a big day, plus 417. Jason Sterner, plus 383. Those are your new top 3 overall. And, looking in the top 10 at the moment, C Squad also has Toby Sambueno at plus 300. Martin Larson at plus 271. Arturo Quintero at plus 258. And AJ Chapman at plus 250. So scores were on the rise. And if we go down to 36th, we started the day at plus 90. The number has gone up to plus 107, currently belonging to Pontus Andersson of Sweden, who is on the squad right now. So we're going to go to the lanes here in just a moment. We'll bring in the rest of the Bowl TV crew as well. But let's head to the NBS, folks. As we get underway, we will take a look at Matt Kuba, Sean Rash, and Kyle Sherman. Sean Rash at plus 101, Kyle Sherman at minus 61, and Matt Kuba at minus 135. So with some of the scores we saw out there in the opening block, plus 200 is definitely out there. Could someone make a run? Could someone like Kyle Sherman put together a big enough block to put himself in position to advance his fellow YouTube star, Brad Miller, bowled on C Squad, got to plus 204. So Brad in pretty good shape here, currently sitting at 16th. So Kyle looking to join him in the next round. But with that, let's, as we get ready for these opening shots, let's bring in some of the Bowl TV team as well. So big thanks to JT and Mike Flanagan for running A Squad, or I guess C Squad, but the first squad of the day. So we'll start with JT. Bring him on in. There he is. JT. Hello. Good to see you.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm great. Not going to lie.
Yeah, we had an exciting morning here at the bowling stadium. A bunch of players made big runs. Some were already in the cut, and they moved their position up towards the top, like Chris Barnes, Matt Sanders. Some who were out of the cut made a run to maybe get themselves into the mix and get some extended play starting tomorrow. I know what some of these players out here saw probably gave them a lot of hope that wherever they are in the field, they can move up today.
Absolutely. And as we talked about, thinking about the first pattern these guys hit after the grueling condition at the Masters, that 36-foot pattern allowed for some opportunities to strike, loosen up the arm swings of these guys, and they delivered. So potentially same idea heading into this pattern after just an absolutely rough day 2 on that 40-foot flat condition. These guys had to throw it so good just to get to the pocket yesterday. Hopefully with a little more area out there, a little more shape, we're going to see some more strikes. And as you said, see if some of these guys can make a run to the top 36. That's going to be the exciting part, of course, later today. The excitement to see what that number is going to be. I know you guys had some preliminary talks about it moving up. What was kind of the number for you guys after after the first squad this morning? Where did you guys think kind of that number, where am I safe at number? What were you guys kind of coming to a conclusion at for that?
Yeah, so originally we had projected somewhere around the 130 to 135 range. Tim Mack came in just shortly after that and said it would be probably 190, and then he came back and revised it to somewhere in the 150 to 160 range. I personally think that's probably where it's going to end up, probably around 150, although coming down the stretch, the last game, we saw 2 players, Zach Weidman and Solomon Salama. Zach got to 139 with a big 279 his last game, and then Solomon threw a huge strike on his fill ball to finish 1 pin ahead of Zach. So those two guys are probably guys that we'll want to keep an eye on as the rest of the day goes on. But yeah, probably somewhere in that 140 to 150 range is where you're looking to be safe.
All right, as we mentioned at the moment, plus 107 to start this block, but we still got another 16 games to watch here. So let's go full screen to the action here. But first, we're going to bring in Matt Cannizzaro as well to join the conversation. Matt's been writing the stories each and every day, talking to Jacob Buttriff about his run so far. So, Matt, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you, guys. How's it going out there?
Great.
Yes, excellent job in the opening round, guys. Once again, appreciate the block off to get energized. I'm ready. Let's go. But Matt, in talking to Jacob, you know, if you haven't read the article on Bull.com, folks, take a minute and check it out. You compared his first two blocks to setting the curve as with school, and he graded himself, he called it an A-, but he was really proud of himself on the tough stuff yesterday. How's that going to translate to his mindset for the rest of the tournament, knowing he performed well on a pattern he historically has not done well on?
Well, I think the bigger thing was that he felt more comfortable on patterns 1 and 3 and knew that was less to worry about, right? As you said, he bowled well on pattern 2 yesterday, was able to have a spare game relatively intact for the day. And I think, again, the part he was most proud of was that when he struggled in the middle of the block, easily it could have gotten away from him mentally, and he was able to reel it in, things he's done differently in the past. So he's learned from past mistakes. That was the big part of yesterday's success. It was going back to his game plan, moving back toward the gutter, and not looking at what other lefties were doing or what was happening around him, or thinking about a bad game or two. He was able to get back on track and finish strong, and knowing that coming into today, felt more comfortable on this pattern. Of course, in this event, it's the long run, right? You want to get out as far ahead as you can. He's been there 500 or 600 pins at a time, and then just coming down to that stepladder game, a victim of the format. But the goal, of course, is to get as much as he can. He'll feel great going out there today, confident from yesterday's success and confident because of the look that he had on this pattern in practice. So put all those pieces together, and this is a Jacob Buttriff we haven't seen in just a few years.
Thanks, Matt. Folks, as we take a look here, we're behind lanes 65 and 66 to start, but 8 channels are available overall at the moment to take a look at and follow your favorite competitors throughout the course. Of course, live scoring available as well. So if you're in the chat on bulltv.com right now, if you kind of want to get to all the resources that we use that is available, you kind of see some tabs above the chat there. There's 5 of them now. First off, that check. We're actually trying to gather some information from the folks who are on bulltv.com. So there's actually a quick poll question, a yes or no question real quick about our mobile app on bull.com. Please take a chance to answer that while you're here today. No rush, no hurry, but if you get the chance. But the tab next to that is essentially our tournament page on bull.com for the U.S. Open. You can find pairing sheets, topography report, live scoring, schedule, match play schedule, prize fund, results, oil patterns, all the good stuff, folks. So be sure to check that out. That is what we're using throughout the course of the day to kind of keep tabs, refreshing, doing the whole thing. So all that's accessible at your fingertips as well. Taking a look in the chat, big thanks to everyone for saying hello. And we have Tennille Milligan swinging by in the chat as well, saying great coverage of the U.S. Open. Thank you, Tennille, past winner at the U.S. Women's Open. And folks, please say happy birthday to Tennille in the chat as well. It's Tennille's birthday. We had JT's just a couple days ago. Today is Tennille's birthday. So happy birthday, Tennille. Enjoy the day and enjoy the U.S. Open on Bull TV.
Guys, a quick start here from Sean Rash, and I'm not surprised. I feel like he was out watching, and he's added that straight game to his arsenal the last few years, and I think that's going to serve him really well today. He's going to be able to play out to the right, kind of go up the back of it. He probably watched Chris Barnes all day, just kind of whack him, and didn't really have to move too much. Just changed his ball roll and speed, and not even too many ball changes for Barnes, throughout the day. So I think Sean is going to be able to take that blueprint and use it to his advantage and have a big day. The other player that I'm looking at, and obviously for selfish reasons in the fantasy game, which we'll update here in a second, but that would be Chris Prather. He was my number one pick, and behind the 8 ball coming into today, but I think he's got the firepower to be able to shoot a huge block today and get himself back up in the cut and give Team JT a little bit of a boost.
Prather at minus 55 to start competition today. Currently in 71st place overall, but yeah, JT, your group has rounded out pretty nicely at the moment. So I'm a bit jealous. Prather is kind of your wild card, which is ironic because he was your first pick, and I don't think anyone would certainly blame you for that. But yeah, he's the one who can definitely make a big swing for you today.
Yeah, and there's the standings, guys. You want to go through that, Aaron? You want to take us through that? I'll let you do it, since if people might accuse me of not being humble if I were the one that read off.
Reluctantly, I will say I fell to second place. Jason Thomas moving into first, a steady performance. Jacob Buttriff in the top spot once again, but just overall great bowling. Stu Williams had a nice little bounce back. Chris Barnes had a big day. Sean's been consistent. So for JT's group, potentially he could be looking at potentially 5 safe in the top 36. We'll have to wait and see. I'm in second with 208 at the moment. Big day for Martin Larson earlier for me. But I for Dick Allen, Sean Maldonado, they are not going to make the cut. But both of them, I didn't have anybody, go too bad for me. So like they were both. I think Sean got to plus 80 something. Sean was Dick was plus 70. Sean was plus 80. So those are going to be my low guys. I got a couple guys left there. I feel confident they're going to get in. I'm going to have 4 in the top 36. Matt's at 211. We got Stu moving in up a couple spots, 235, 2 ahead of Mike, and then Chad at 248. But everyone's kind of closed the gap a little bit. So we had some separation after day one. But a few guys who can definitely move up a lot of spots for looking at Chad and Stu specifically with Kyle and Andrew can make up some spots here. But yeah, for you, Prather is kind of the wild card moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, if he were to have a big day today, I'd be feeling pretty darn good about my chances. Go, Chris.
However, in speaking of our overall ability to pick at the moment, we only have a total of 2 players in the top 5 selected out of 36 players. So we're still working to get better on that. But JT, you got both of them, so go figure.
Well, there's still a lot of time left. It's the U.S. Open. A lot of things can happen.
Quick update. Perry Crowell, front 8 on lanes 33 and 34. Unfortunately, a little out of our camera view at the moment.
69. I don't know.
Justin O'Shaughnessy, the principal, showing up to class today. Spare 7-bagger to kick things off. Bill O'Neill started with the front 6 before splitting the 7th. He added strikes in the 8th and the 9th. Graham Fa, chance to shoot 280 this game. Matt Russo, chance to shoot 280. We're watching.
So we had that 300 number set. Was it at a half?
Half, yep.
Yeah. And we're all clear this morning, right? As far as I know, I didn't see
there
any
weren't
fireworks.
any. Yeah, I mean, there were some big scores, but nobody shot 300. Nobody had more than the front 8.
Buttriff 257. Prather can get to 247, JT. So
yes,
it's like it's your birthday week or something.
It's working out well for old JT. Perry got the front nine. I'm going to go do Mr. Flanagan's job and try to black cloud Perry.
All right, we'll see if Perry can get the first 300 game of the 2021 U.S. Open. This is A Squad's final round of qualifying. We'll have a B Squad hit the lanes a little bit later today, 9 p.m. Eastern for that. Let's see, what was Perry at to enter the day? Perry was in pretty good shape, I believe. Perry was plus 109 to start the day, so definitely trending in the right direction. This is a quick and easy way to get to more than plus 200 for the day.
So, Aaron, when I first looked at the scores, I asked if 512 over was going to be enough to be the leader for the day. And, I'm thinking just based on this first game, unless they get super wacky, that's probably not going to be the leader when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that 257 out of the gates will jump Jacob into the plus 430 range. So he'll be within 80, just like that.
Happy to say, Aaron Smith, that I was able to keep Mike Flanagan's perfect record intact for the U.S. Open. Perry left a 4-pin in his bid to shoot 300. First shot in the 10.
Well, Mike will be pleased that the cloud lives on in his name.
Oh, and they gave it to me too. They really gave it to me down there.
That's your first one today, or first one this week. So
but Mike's been doing such a good job.
Transfer energy. That's 247 out of the gates. So for Sean, he's going to get to plus 148. Moving on up. Matt Kuba, the owner of a perfect game at the USBC Open Championships in 2018. Going to be in the two teens here. Kyle. He can get to 249. So some big strikes on the gates here for Kyle to start working his way toward getting on the right side of even. Great shot to kick things off. All right, Kyle's going to be in the 240s here. Some nice starts all around the house. Taking a look at live scoring. Crowell finished with 278. Marshall Kent, 248. Graham Faw, 249. Thomas Larson, 258. Justin O'Shaughnessy, 245. Zeke Bate, 247. Bill O'Neill, 266. Dallas Leong, 247. Matt Russo, an opening attempt for 245. Could have been a huge game for him. He still had 280 out there. That's going to be 249 for Kyle Sherman, 247 for Sean Rash. We mentioned Buttriff at 257. Prather got to 247. Andrew Sescriba, 232. So a plethora of scores after one. How about that?
Did Norm play the good or
How about that, folks? Here we go. Game one. We're firing. And as we get ready for game number 2, JT has let me know we got a quick interview available with Chris Barnes. So let's take a look.
I mean, we knew this pattern from practice day that a lot of people ganged up to the right. And so threw some shots, and early on in the practice, I leaked one a little bit, and it actually made it back off of 2, which we haven't seen that on the right side too much so far. And once that happened, my swing really loosened up, and I was able to kind of trap it. I threw a proton for a while. Ironically, I didn't get that many off hits with that ball, but that ball wanted to go high flush a lot, fortunately. And so got to 5-0. I went up on that high end. Those pairs up there are really tight on the gutter. They always have been, and they still are. And I had one lane that kind of gave me some trouble, and I didn't make the right moves. But from then on, things went pretty well. We were able to follow transition. I had a great luck that I was bowling with Martin Larson. Somebody who actually still kind of throws it like me. There's not many of those guys left anymore. And so we got to play off each other a little bit, and I got to watch and see and confirm sometimes, okay, was that hook early? And you can't see sometimes the front part of the lane from the foul line. You can see it from the back real easy. So we kind of built on each other. We both bowled a pretty good block. I think we got about 500 over between the two of us, which is probably more than all of us, the two of us were for all last week and this week combined moving in. So good day for the room, and so like I say, I think you always have to have a big block at the U.S. Open to get in contention. And used to be B squad back when it was all 3, and today, at least for the righties, I think this is the block they have to make up ground. And I was fortunate to get some good breaks and get some hits today. Well, they're certainly a lot better than they were at the beginning of the day, and better than they were after day 1. I didn't get a lot of pins on day 1, and I got some. It was an okay block, but there was guys that hit them pretty hard, and I didn't see much of that in our squad. And so practice on that 4th pattern looked a little bit softer than the first 2 days for sure. Not quite like this one, but probably closer to this one than the other one. I don't expect the other side of the lane to struggle very much on this one or the next one either. So there's going to be a lot of big scores from here on. And with all the rev rate we got and that other 2-handed guy is coming up, I think he's going to shoot a million today. Him and Jason and Jesper, I think, are going to shoot a bunch. So, I mean, that is what it is. I'm going to try and just keep building on the momentum, keep throwing it better than I have here in a while, and see if I can make a run at this thing.
All right, folks, there we go. Chris Barnes. Thanks, Chris, for the interview after the block. Going to take a look at our Masters champion here, Thomas Larson, on 47-48. He's joined by Josh Zimmerman and Graham Fa. .258 in game 1 for Larson, .249 for Fa. Some struggles for Josh, 163.
Chris kind of classically downplayed in that interview, but man, I was excited watching him shoot 291 over for that block. Pretty thrilling to see him, at the top of his game at a U.S. Open, especially. It's a tournament that I think it's probably his favorite. Chris, ultimate shot maker, champion in this event. It's basically was in contention every year, and had a lot of runs at the title, and it's nice to see him coming off that strong performance at the Masters, having another good week at the U.S. Open. And I'll tell you what, those PBA 50 Tour guys are quaking in their boots right now.
Yeah, when I took a look at the at the results link for squad 3. After I saw his start, I was like, holy cow. 248, 259, a little hiccup. I believe he said on the high end of the house, 189, then 253, 245, 248, 234, and 215 to wrap things up. This again moved him all the way into second place, but that is going to change after we get our next update after Jacob Buttreff's big start.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Jacob gets to. He could really hit him hard today, and I can certainly see him throwing up another 300 over block on this and pushing the lead out to, a couple hundred pins, which, again, I said it before, but he's a man who's definitely familiar with having big leads at the U.S. Open. He knows how to do it.
JT, we were at both his impressive runs in 2017 in the greater Syracuse area and in 2018 in Wichita. Which one were you more impressed by as it was happening, when Jacob just started to go nuts? And I believe that was still when we had the different formats in 17 versus 18. Was 18 the year we went to 4 patterns, or was that 19? I don't recall.
Yeah, no, we did do it in 18. And if you recall, I actually had a hunch about Jacob and shot an interview with him that we ended up airing on our CBS Sports Network broadcast. Mm-hmm. And you don't do that unless you're pretty certain that the player's going to make it to the TV show. But I interviewed him after seeing his look on that pattern 4 in the morning. I said, he's going to make the show. There's no way he's not going to make the show. And we did the interview, and then he ended up going on to lead by over 500. But that one, I think, was even more impressive because he didn't have a big lead at all. In fact, he wasn't even in the lead.
That's correct, yep.
Yeah, and so what he did in match play in that tournament was utterly dominant. So I think that might have been the more impressive. I think he'll admit, and some of the other players will admit, he just had a really great look that whole week in Syracuse. And whereas, the other one, it was, probably a more complete performance, but still ended up coming up a little bit short, in the title match.
So question for you guys then. And we know how much, TV and advertising and all those important things mean to the visibility of the sport, of course. But at the same time, that format, the TV part of it has cost some folks some titles over the years, while it gave others the opportunity to win some titles from the 4th or 5th position, even if not more in some years with some wacky formats. But, whether you lead by 1 pin or 600, if you don't get it done in the title match, it's certainly a bit of a travesty at that point. But if it's him or if it's somebody else that does the same thing, how do you not think about what happened in 2017 and 2018? And how do you get that out of your head, especially if it's him who's in that position again?
That's a great point, Matt. The thing I think that will help Jacob, if he were to lead again, is the fact that he was able to win the Masters in 2019. I think that got a big monkey off his back. We've talked to him this week, and you've talked to him more than anybody, and he really wants to win the U.S. Open. I feel like he feels like he deserves to have a U.S. Open title based on how well he's bowled those 2 prior years where he led. And I think he's on a mission this week to finally erase the memories of those 2 losses and finally get his name in the win column at the U.S. Open.
Well, he did say that even though he won the Masters, he feels that he's been more successful overall at the U.S. Open. So outside of, losing by a pin even on TV, he certainly has made a statement at this event. But I'll be very interested to see and hear the thoughts as we get closer to that potential moment.
Yeah, and his losses at the U.S. Open were made even worse by the fact that he made some unforced errors on those shows, missing some spares. They were both close matches. Rhino ended up throwing a big string of strikes towards the end to make the score a little bit more out of reach than it would have appeared. But if Jacob had put a little bit more pressure on him, who knows what would have happened. But that second year against Don Barrett, that was a really tough loss. I mean, he was pretty broken up about that one. Super nice after the show. Great sport. Congratulated Dom. He did interviews with us afterwards. So he was really gracious about it, but I know it really bothered him losing that U.S. Open for the second year in a row. And it was really nice to see him get the Masters win to take some of the sting away. But again, he wants to win the U.S. Open.
Not too long after the loss in Liverpool to Rhino Page, Jacob went on and channeled all of that energy to win the World Cup. So he bounced back. He's certainly resilient. But of course, as you mentioned, the desire to erase those two, or at least finally get that win. Still, obviously, a very, very long way to go. We're only 16, 17 games in now out of 56. So it's going to be a wild few days, and it's only going to get better.
Going back to that Wichita performance with Jacob as we surpassed the halfway point, you talked about once they hit that fourth pattern in round 4, and Chris Prather had been leading throughout pretty much the entire event, and he actually led after the first match play round. I remember we did an interview with him because we've been talking to him every day because he'd been bowling so well. He ended up making that show as well, but I just looked it up. But Jacob went 340 over that first block on the match play pattern. I remember we talked to Chris after the first block of match play, and he's like, I think this will be the last time you'll be talking to me, because Jacob's just going to absolutely run over this score. And then there it went, and it went, and it went all the way to a 552 pin lead. But very interesting to see the guys just know when Jacob. I feel they mentioned Jesper kind of in the same light as once he gets lined up and that 550 plus rev rate gets going, you don't expect him to miss.
Speaking of not expecting somebody to miss, Sean Rash on the front 7 on 67 and 68. Wow, that was the major black cloud. Wow.
My goodness.
We're going to leave it here because he's going to spare it.
Going back to the old extra frame days odds here. If you keep saying it, it'll happen.
Oh, I know it's coming. Sean Rash used to have an 88-mile-an-hour fastball in high school. We're going to see him get up close to that here.
Bring in the cheddar.
Oh, come on. They've been bouncing all week. Just didn't catch enough of that 10-pin flush. Otherwise, it would have happened. I know it.
Taking a look at some other scores here at the moment. Perry Crowell, he could be making the turn at a whole bunch. Chance for 277 this game after 278 in the opener. Jillian Martin can shoot 269 this game. Zeke Bate, a chance to get to 290. Zach Wilkins in the books at 269 already this game. Matt Russo can shoot 279. This could be a Russo squad. I'm feeling Russo. Matt Canzara's got to be smiling over there.
One time, Russo. One time for the Jersey boys.
Chris Sloan, 7 out of the first 8, can get to 278.
So I mentioned Tim Mack kind of jumping all over the place with his cut number. He just came by, wrote down on a piece of paper, cut number more than 195.
Wow. .248 for Marshall Kent. He's 96 over to start.
And speaking of big scores, we've got a couple of guys here whacking them here in game number 2. Zeke Bate with a possible 290. Nick DeCesario shoots 247. Nice game here there for Nick. And Justin O'Shaughnessy, possible 237.
The principal, Justin O'Shaughnessy. He's going to be the low game here. Looks like Rash is going to be in the 260s. Moving day. Good Zeke Bate. If he gets all three of these, he's going to be at plus 134. He's going to be right in the mix.
Come on.
Get there. Get there.
Oh. Is that a hologram?
These slow rolling messengers.
Looked like it rolled right through it.
Are these pins regulation weight?
We know they're new. They've only had one tournament bowled on them so far. And it didn't seem like that tournament did a lot of damage to those pins.
They were tough to topple. 248 for Jillian Martin. Open in the 10th for Perry, 233. He's still at plus 111 for his first two out of the gates here. Jacob Butcher, 225. Chris Prather, he's 71 over on the day, so he's gotten to the right side of plus. Zeke 269 there. He's 116 over today. Zeke was minus to start today. Look at that. Zeke had a great performance at the Masters as well. A lot of strikes out there today, folks. A lot of strikes. Do have some scores after one. Once again, we'll get the update after two here shortly. But Buttriff moved up to plus 432, so he is now in the plus nearly plus 460 after rolling into the 220s that game. So moving day on A squad. C squad in the books. B squad coming up a little bit later today on Bowl TV. 9 p.m. Eastern, the start time. Talked a little bit about Perry Crowell. Just like that. He's come to us here on Bowl TV. Plus 111. After 2 games here on our 44-foot condition.
Game 2 is complete. You're going to begin game number 3.
Plus 220 overall. Anthony Lavery Spar minus 23. Nolan White minus 125. We talked a lot about Perry's run to the TV show at the 2020 event, and kind of reviewing some of the stats from 2020, seeing how some folks finished up. One of the things that that had slipped my mind in Perry's run is that at the end of, I believe, this round right here. Now I'm going to double check. I don't know if it was this round or the top 36 round. He had to win a roll-off to continue his tournament path in 2020. Let's see. Let's verify. Which round was this? All right, it was this round. Perry tied Walter Ray Williams Jr. for the final spot at the U.S. Open to make the top 36. Perry won that matchup. Once again, that was on the flat pattern last year at Sun Valley Lanes. So as we look at folks shoot 250 every game here, a little bit lower scoring pace on that day, Perry was able to collect the win by a score of 184 to 151 against Walter. And then from that 36th spot, made it all the way into the top 5 in his final 32 games.
Just going to jump over here real quick, Aaron, because you're not going to want to see this.
Oh, Marshall. Yeah, I agree. Could not
Yeah.
agree more. My goodness. So much entry angle.
It's not the best sales pitch for the new stuff.
Hey, pins bounce here. He's got to make this. JT odds at play.
Oh!
Oh!
Wow. He's got a smile on his face under the mask. That was fun. Good news for Marshall is he's still plus 188. Perry continuing to mow him down.
I did have a question in the chat from Tanner about when we have Justin O'Shaughnessy on a broadcast, we call him the principal. The nickname was given to him by Emil, and something we've carried on, but that's actually from a Key and Peele skit. So for the folks who affectionately call me Aaron, oh, get that messenger, get it.
See, there are
Redemption.
bowling gods. They're watching.
But from that same skit, there was a O'Shaughnessy reference as the principal from the skit. So we have deemed Justin the principal. So that's where that nickname comes from.
Speaking of nicknames, I think somebody in our field yesterday earned the right to have a nickname for eternity.
You're not going to do our guy dirty here, are you, JT?
I don't think so. So there's a couple options. The first one, Mr. 6'9". What do you think of that?
Not a fan.
No? Why not?
It doesn't tell the whole story. Oh, Perry, run it.
Okay. Should we show the video? Just so people understand what we're talking about here?
Sure, we can do that right now. We're in the middle of game 3 of a block, so yes, and folks, if you thought we got loud for that near 7-9 conversion, might want to turn it down a skosh here at the end. JT gets amped.
Ooh.
Oh,
The old 2 count.
this has been a weird game for AJ up to this point, and it continues to get weirder.
How do you shoot this? You go Brooklyn?
Very carefully.
I mean, it's not one you practice.
Looks like he's sticking with the strike
Hit
shot.
the- he's going to go through it.
Oh, no. Oh,
my
AJ.
gosh!
Oh,
I've never
goodness.
seen that before.
Oh, what just AJ.
That's the greatest thing I have ever seen on any ever. That transcends bowling. That was greater than the birth of my 3 children combined. I'm sorry, AJ, that you got 2 out. I hope you bounce back, but this is something that you will be able to wear as a badge of honor for the rest of your life, especially since we're going to be immediately clipping it out and putting it on YouTube after this block is over.
There it is. Just in time for Perry's 5th frame.
Perfect timing. And AJ did bounce back, by the way. He's in 10th place overall after his performance today. He's at plus 250. So he was able to – he actually shot 202 that game, believe it or not, which I think is the most appropriate score he could have bowled that game, considering he went 2 out. So 2 out for a 202.
I have to ask, have any of you guys actually talked to AJ since all this transpired to see? That thing got a lot of play. So I'm sure after the fact, wasn't happy about when it happened. Potentially a very laughable situation later in the day, but yeah, he got some press for that.
Oh, that's going to be the big video that survives. You know, when people forget who won the 2021 US Open, people will still remember AJ Chapman's 2 out.
So it's like tin cup on the final hole.
It's so huge. I can't even who Dave Houston? Who's that? They're going to remember AJ Chapman's 2 out for eternity. Trust me. Should we call him 2 out? AJ 2 out Chapman? I mean, it still doesn't quite capture the going through the same hole part of the story, right? Is that why you're hesitant to accept some of these nicknames?
It's unjust. It's to try to. You said it transcends bowling, JT. Can we wrap that up in a nickname's worth of characters? Is it possible?
It's hard to do. How about we ask for some help in the chat? Let's coin a nickname for AJ Chapman for that incredible accomplishment that he was able to do here at the U.S. Open yesterday. What would you?
Well, I know. Yes, please put those in the chat, folks. But I actually know. I just telepathically connected with AJ, and I know what he wants to be called.
What's that?
He wants to be called the 2021 U.S. Open champion. Oh,
wow!
Full circle.
Wow! That I don't know. I don't know if anybody can top that one. Aaron's raising his hands in victory in the Bowl TV studio. That was good.
Looks like we have a score update coming for you good folks as well. After 2 here for A Squad. So be on the lookout for that in just a second.
Sean Rash made the flip from the high end to the low end, and he's having a rough go of it this game. 61 in the 5th and a spare in the 6th, but Jacob Buttriff continues to maul him out here. He's got a possible 279. Chris Prather a possible 280 on lanes 33 and 34.
Quick run through some top scores here on A Squad. The overall leading total, once again, Matt Sanders, who's already in the clubhouse at plus 512. Jacob Buttriff bowling on the squad plus 457. Second overall, looking to run down that number. Mitch Hoope plus 261. Bill O'Neill plus 243. Perry Crowell with the 511 start. He's at plus 220. Sean Rash was at plus 214. Matt Russo plus 200 even. Marshall Kent plus 188. Thomas Larson plus 178. Pontus Anderson plus 126. Dallas Leong plus 114. Zeke Bate making the move, 247, 269 out of the gates for him, plus 113. Tommy Jones plus 91. Graham Faw plus 62. Dino Castillo plus 43. Richard Teese plus 31. Some of the top scores after 2 here. on A Squad.
Buttriff will be in the 260s here, so that'll put him back in the overall lead after 3 games.
Correct.
And he is off to the races.
Yeah, 750 for his first 3, so he's should be at plus 525 now. But Prather, he can get to, I think he'd be at 751 for 3 if he's able to punch out, get to 280.
That's what I like to see, Aaron Smith.
You wanted to trade him 2 days ago, or
Well,
yesterday.
I really didn't, but I did think that it was interesting. Like, I think people would have traded for him at the point. I was basically trying to make the point of how dangerous he is.
Well, JT, your wild card has proven wild today, and yeah, Chris is pretty much going to be to plus 100 when this game is all said and done. It looks like just like that.
I did, cross eyes with him as I was changing a camera shot, and I gave him the fist pump, and he said, lot of strikes left to get, long way left to go. And I was like, there we go. He's in it to win it today.
Marshall Kent 234 after that terrible 7-9 break. Almost picked it up. He is 730 for his first 3. Perry's going to be 790 if he's able to punch out this 10th frame here.
Rash down on 29 and 30 is looking like he's going to be able to bail out 189 with 2 more strikes in the 10th. So he had me scared there for a second.
On that pair, Matt Kuba can get to 280 this game. He made the turn at looked like 496.
Wow.
So he's going to be potentially in the 750 range as well. Oh, 470, excuse me, not 490. Kim Bullaby can shoot 279 this game.
Marshall Kent was able to go off the sheet after another split in the 5th. He left that 7-9, then left an 8-10 in the 5th, and then went off the sheet for the last 7 to shoot 234.
279 this game from David Haynes, again to plus 73 for the block. Matt Russo, 231. He has 734 out of the gate. Zach Wilkins, 717. Zeke Bates going to be in the 750s here after the first 3. I think Tim might have been right here. These guys are going to the house. Even with that 189 finish, Sean Rash, 702 for his first 3. Perry now in the 250s. Zeke Bate, 751 for his first three. Started the day minus. Chris Prather went 278 that game, so he's at 749 for his first three. Matt Kuba, 259. He's at 735. Anthony Lavery Spar, 200 even. Nolan can get to 179 and 256 for Perry. He's going to put him at 276 over. Take a look at 41 and 42 wrapping up. And with all the excitement here, so we look ahead to Game 4. Let's take a look. Our tournament leader, Jacob Buttriff, Chris Prather on the move to see if they can continue their striking ways. The third player on this pair, Andrew Scriba. Jacob with 750 for his first 3 games. Prather, 749.
That'll get it done.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun last night talking numbers and overs and that yesterday. What's the peak number for Jacob today? How far ahead can he get, knowing he has another 5 games and from what we've seen, maybe little reason to fret?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, he was 375 over coming into today. I felt like he could shoot another 300 over block today, and that gets him to somewhere in the 700 over range. So he could have, as much as a 200 pin lead heading into tomorrow if he can keep going at this pace. He's actually going at a faster pace than 300 over. So, he keeps doing this, he could get to 400 over for the day, which would give him a 300 pin lead, which is pretty mind-boggling if you think about it. 300 pin lead against the best bowlers in the world in 24 games. You're out averaging the next closest guy by 13, 14 pins a game.
That is pretty crazy.
It is. It never happens. And, the craziest thing about it is, it's not like we've left out one pattern and he just happens to love that one pattern. This is on 3 different patterns. And one of them is a pattern he generally tends to struggle on, which is a 40-foot flat. He had one of the best blocks yesterday.
I think, 65 over?
Yeah. I mean, there were probably only 10 players that had a better day than Jacob yesterday. And, he obviously had the best block on day 1, and he very well could have the best block on day 3. So, best block, and 10th, that adds up to a pretty huge lead.
It's officially 61 over yesterday for Jacob. But hey, look at that. We can say we saw him shoot a spare. That might not happen again.
Yeah, he had to think about that one a little bit. Doesn't have to shoot much today.
Once again, folks, the excitement does not end here. B Squad, their 8-game block will come up tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, at the conclusion, we will know our cut number and our 36 players advancing onto the cashers round tomorrow. A slightly later start.
Ooh, wow. Over the top 7. Nasty.
$1 p.m. Eastern start tomorrow, round of 36, and then first of 3 round-robin rounds of 8 games, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, man. Chris Prather should have the front four of this game. This is kind of where we saw in the block, some of the players having to tweak their angles just a touch, just to get the ball to go through the pins. We saw Brad Miller kind of working his way through a bunch of different bowling balls to try to get just the right look through the pins.
I guess that's the one thing I missed from not being on the broadcast earlier is was the scoring pace similar out of the gates with, we're probably looking at maybe close to 8 to 10 players who are already 100 plus on this block. Was that kind of similar for the squad earlier today?
No, it was a little bit more subtle than what's going on here today, this afternoon. There are a lot more players just flat out bombing them here on this squad than there were this morning. In fact, it felt to us like the scores were high, but then we looked at the standings, and the number had only moved up 7 or 8 pins after about 4 games, and so we said, well, maybe the scores aren't as high as we thought they were, and so that's why we had some of the hedging on the projected cut number. And we started at 130, and then Matt came in and said 190, and then Tim came back and said, yeah, probably 150, 160, but now he's all in on 190 again.
Oh,
wow, this is one of the unluckiest games you'll see.
JT, predictions.
I'm going to say no.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I don't think it's going to happen. Jacob shredding a rack.
I haven't seen the pins move like that all week. Where did that come from? Oh, that was vicious.
But let's see if Prather makes a ball change here. You gotta look at a different ball on the fill for his last game. And other than that last one, those first couple of shots looked like they were hitting the pins pretty hard, going through the pins pretty well. But that 710 looked a little lazy. So let's see if Chris makes a ball change here.
Taking a look around the house, it appears Sean Rash back on track. Still shoot 268 this game. Max score. Kyle Sherman, 279 still out there. Richie Teese, front 5. Perry Krall had the front 5 before a 6 count. Graham Fa putting together strong start, 6 out of 7.
Prather with the ball change and chops the 10 pin out. So that was a good ball change, and taking that ball and saying, thanks, ball. You got me a nice 749 for the first 3, but you're done. Did your job. Moving to the bullpen now. Oh, wow. Jacob Buttriff is just throwing pins.
It's a bad man right there. Give us a flex, Jacob.
If automatic pin setters had never been invented, I don't think you'd be able to get someone to sit back there and set pins for Jacob right now. It'd be too dangerous.
You would need protective gear.
All right, let's see if that ball change works on the right lane here. Chris Prather has bowled an incredibly good game and really has nothing to show for it. And a 4-9. Wow. And you just won't see many more games that are filled with black clouds and bad luck than what Chris Prather's doing this game. Let's see if he can convert. He's going to make this. Oh,
Very nice, JT. Very nice.
huge conversion there. Still gives him a chance to bail out 200. He'll make a little bit of a move on that right lane, but I think he's got this lane wired. Oh, shreds the rack. Jacob putting up another monster game. Can still shoot 257. Just pound in the pocket.
Does look like we have a pair that's that got a little bit of a slower start. I don't know if they had a breakdown of some sort just in the fourth frame. So we may have a little intermission coming up, JT. We got some folks wrapping up. One more time. One more time. Jacob making the pins dance. Although out of the three he's sent so far, that's probably the least exciting of them, which is pretty crazy because that was pretty exciting. Oh, that one was boring. Dead flush. 250 or in the 250s. 257 with one more.
It's fun to watch when Jacob gets it going.
Couple of 7 pins made the move. A whole bunch of business afterwards. 257. He's going to be at 582 over now. $215 still out there for Prather. Once again, he's still trying to get into the number here. It's a good start toward that. He started the day minus 55, but went 149 over. in his first 3. And he certainly has the chance, the opportunity to make a big jump to the top 36. Was 65th after 2 days. This one gets him into the 2 teens. And what could have been that game too, 4-9 in there, which he did convert 7-10, but looks like got into the right ball at the right time. I guess technically a frame late, but I guess the 7-10 was telling, and as we talked about over an 8-game block, there's a little more time to make up a hit like that. Rash, 236. Kuba, he's 181 over for this block so far. He just shot 246. Buttriff, 207 over for 4. Oh, why not? Let's get it. Pins are dancing on 39 and 40. 215 gets him to plus 109. A lot of numbers out there, folks. One of our favorite numbers at the moment, however, $49.95, limited time. Promo VIP special offer for Bowl TV. Pick up an annual subscription, $49.95 plus transaction fees. This limited time engagement will expire Saturday. So if you got some friends who are watching who are interested in Bowl TV, if maybe you picked up an event pass and have liked what you've seen and you want to check it out more, $49.95. This is the time to do it. Starting Sunday, it will go back to $79.95 for an annual recurring subscription. So don't miss out. Pick up a year of Bowl TV. Not only is it the U.S. Open, we got the PWBA Tour starting up in just a couple of weeks. 17 events still on the schedule, with all TV finals going to be live here on BowlTV.com. Top tier senior events, youth events, collegiate events. We got the ITCs and the ISCs in May. Sectionals coming up next weekend. We had a comment in the chat a little bit earlier about we've called it a revival of the World Team Championship. Or some folks have mentioned that, but the Bowlers Journal Team Championship Series is going to be coming up in the fall. A couple events scheduled for that, of course, and plenty to look forward to. That'll get you to 2022 as well. We'll have team trials going on. It's one heck of a time to pick up an annual subscription, Bowl TV. Don't miss out. Tell your friends. Tell their friends.
Tell your friends' friends. Aaron, I've had a few people, asking me why am I rooting for Chris Prather so much? And true, he is on my team for the fantasy draft. But I'm going to show you an interesting picture here. And that is my son on the left with me. And that is obviously Chris Prather on the right. There's definitely some similarities there, wouldn't you say?
That's yes.
Yeah.
How about that?
Like every time I see my son, I think it's Chris Prather. And then every time I see Chris Prather, I think it's my son. So anyway, that's just a little insight into maybe why I tend to root for Chris Prather a little more than an objective bowling announcer should.
To be fair, we have our area on our application that we use to stream this event to you, so we can talk back and forth. I'm in Texas, Matt's in Texas, JT's in Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. But I was actually scrolling up. I was getting ready to switch over to this channel since they were a couple frames behind. And as I was looking for a cover, all of a sudden I saw I saw that right next to your ripped thumb that has gotten way too much airtime. But I saw it and I was like, why is there a picture of JT with Chris Prather in a selfie happening here? And then all of a sudden I looked closer and I was like, oh, that's JT's son.
Yeah. No, the thumb. We used the thumb picture today. We showed Jason Sterner's hand, and then I said, and this is my hand from pushing the button on the game. Every game, switching between pairs in the graphic. So even the announcers have injuries from the U.S. Open this week.
I can believe it.
And just in case you missed it this morning, this is the picture which we're talking about, and I'm about to go push the button again. So hopefully, I'm gonna put some new skin on my thumb so that I can get this button pushed correctly.
All right, we got Nick, Justin, and Zeke wrapping up. As we said, not sure if there was a technical situation or delay on this pair to get going, but we are waiting for everybody to conclude their game before we move on to the next one. So let's see if we can get some updates for you from Game 4. We watched Jacob shoot 257. .244 for Perry Krall, so he's 211 over so far this block. So Perry is just going to town. Not planning to have the same excitement he had last year with the roll-off to make it into the top 36. Marshall Kent's having himself a day, 162 over. He just shot 232. Nice 245 there for Nick. And Thomas Larson, 269. Graham Fa, 241. But Zeke, 267 still out there. Once again, he started the day minus. He has had himself a block so far, and adding a 260 onto it would be big time. Oh, pins. Oh, shake it, Zeke. Shake it. There we go. A little extra. Never hurt out there. Late messenger clips the 10 in the 250s. Zeke showing off those dance moves. 247, 269, 235 so far. And into the 260s, north of plus 200. What a day for Zeke Bates so far. Scores are through the roof here. A squad, final block, round 3 at the 2021 U.S. Open from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV and USBC Communications. We've been at this for a week and a half. The USBC Masters kicked things off way back in March, a month ago, March 29th. First day of excitement. Through a week of competition, Thomas Larson captured his first major, third career PBA Tour title. And now we're on our way to Sunday for another show on FS1, 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll throw up the Bowl TV schedule for a quick second as we jump around here. Of course, on Sunday, check out that pre-game and post-game show. Here on Bowl TV.
Players, as soon as the scoreboards come back up, and maybe begin your next game.
Head over to 49 and 54 second. David Haynes, Richie Teese, and Matt Russo. Not sure what.
As soon as the scoreboards come back up, you may begin your next game.
Oh,
Sorry, Aaron. They actually gave the players a shot of warm up because they had to wait so long between games. They gave them one shot on the opposite of their starting lane, and as soon as everybody takes that shot, they'll start game 5.
there we have it. David Haynes, Matt Russo, and Richie Teese. Looks like we might have lost the plus and minuses on the boards there. All right, folks, time for game 5.
And just going to give us a couple of different options to bounce back and forth between here. Chris Prather continuing his comeback today. Double out of the gate. Jacob Buttriff, a little bit of a slow start this game, but he has been red hot the first 4 games once again here at the U.S. Open. Prather another ball change and slaps the 10 out for a turkey.
Just a note for folks looking at live scoring. It appears they lost the names on 37 and 38, so that's the pair that features Zeke Bate, Justin O'Shaughnessy, and Nick Desario.
Beauty from Matt Russo there for a double. And Jacob, his first bit of trouble really all day. Open early in this game, and then now a tough spare here in the 5th, 3-7. If he can't make this, he'll be on a 170 pace through 5.
Taking a look at Matt Sanders.
Nice conversion. He can do it all, Aaron Smith. He can strike and he can spare the 3-7.
He's borderline unstoppable here through 3 rounds. But looking at Matt Sanders, he was lights out for the first 5 games, 242, 226, 257, 236, 256, and then slowed down in games 6 and 7, 199 and 186. So potentially, Matt obviously left-handed as well. Perhaps maybe that's the time frame this pattern gets a little tricky for the southpaws out there. So we'll see the adjustments along the way.
Yeah, Matt was throwing reactive, so he had a little bit of a different look. He was throwing a little harder, and obviously Jacob just grinding on it with urethane. Different approach, but they're not. You're not going to be able to navigate your way across this bowling center, without having to move. From the standpoint of just pair to pair and topography differences, and then the transition. And because this is a longer pattern, 44 feet, there's going to be a little bit more transition in terms of the oil moving around, but the pattern is going to hold up for the whole block. So we never saw players getting really left to second arrow. Oh, Prather is just bombing them. Front 6. Go, son.
That's what you missed in the in the AJ Chapman moment. You mentioned all your children. You didn't mention Chris, though.
Yeah. Luckily, my wife has not seen that clip yet, but hopefully, if she does, she won't turn the sound on.
Wasting no time looking for 7.
Oh man. Good shot. Oh man, are you kidding me? Stone 8. Wow. Nasty. Ah. Go to your room, son.
Chris certainly not laughing about that, but
No.
it's quite a move, though. I've seen that from a few players. The transition to the from the mask over the nose and mouth to over the chin, still covering the mouth, but over the eyes as well.
Yeah. That's the mask of shame. Afraid they're trying to throw a D'Entremont. You guys know what a D'Entremont is?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, that would be a game where you throw all strikes and 1 9 out. D'Entremont was famous for stringing strikes and not being the world's greatest spare shooter. I remember one particular occasion when somebody asked him how the pair was that he had just come off of, and he said, they're dead walled. I went, 10-pin, miss it, sheet. Spares are a bitch, though. Oh, dices the rack.
Still in play.
Jacob with a nice bailout after making that 3-7. Weren't for that stone 8, he still would have shot a pretty big game. But he'll be in the 2 teens with 1 more strike. Sean Rash bowling another big game. Kyle Sherman has 250 plus going. Bill O'Neill with a big game going, 250 plus. These guys are lighting them up today. All right, Prather can step up here and shoot 266. Oh, man. Good shot there. Saw him miss a 10-pin earlier in the game.
But it led to a great story, so there's a positive out of it.
It did. It did. He's not able to pull off the double D, the 11 strikes and 1 9 out, but still can shoot 245 with a spare and a strike.
Nice 260 there from Andrew Scriba. Kim Bowleby has, I think, gone 277, 279 his last 2
Wow.
efforts.
That'll help your cause.
Andrew Anderson, already in the 260s, could go 279 this game.
Yeah, his performance this week has been pretty surprising. He's had a rough go of it out there. And I think Prather probably just waiting to for some of the other pairs to catch up so that he can stay loose. Really, just doesn't want to throw this shot and then have to wait a long time before his next shot coming up in Game 6. So pretty smart here, just waiting it out.
Do like the strategy. As we mentioned throughout the course of the past couple of weeks, a little different. Obviously, we have a buffer pair between the competitors throughout the course of the week and a unique skipping procedure.
And he gets a look at a different ball. Still in the 240s. Son, I'm going to go ahead and raise your allowance. Nice job. Keep it going out there.
Fantastic. All right, folks, 5 in the books, 6, 7, and 8 coming up next. Here for A Squad, final round, round 3 of qualifying at the 2021 U.S. Open from the NBS to the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Final couple shots here. We do wait for everybody to wrap up, so essentially everybody starts the next game at the same time. We'll see Russo, Teese, and Haynes wrap things up. Looks like Zach Wilkins just finished off at 279. He had a really rough first day. Otherwise, Zach would be in the mix as well, but he dug himself a hole the first day.
You got an extra shot and a couple of breaks. That's. Two more games, right? Huh? Yeah. See, just keep scoring like the last two.
It looks like everybody is completed, so we should be moving to the next game relatively soon.
Our players, that game is complete. You begin your next game.
That scoring system would have been way better.
Take a look here at Andrew Anderson, Marshall Kent, and Sorella Cardenas in Game 6. All right, folks, looks like the good people working on site at the NBS have gotten the plus and minus back up there on the scoreboards. So we're here in game number 6. Switching back and forth between Marshall Kent, Andrew Anderson, and Sorel Cardenas, and Jacob Buttriff, Chris Prather, and Andrew Sescriba.
And Aaron, we don't have our 21 game update yet for A squad, but judging by the number Chris Prather has gotten to, looks like he is actually in the cut now, potentially. So he's made up all of the ground that he was trailing by going into this block. And now just trying to add a few more pins to his total to give himself a better chance tomorrow to make it into the top 24.
Did not like that one, however, but Team JT looking pretty good here. Not gonna lie. Might be looking at all 6.
Yeah,
for the next round.
That wouldn't be too bad. I would take that.
When you talked about the cut, JT, the last number we had was plus 135. So
yeah, it's I'm certainly more in the Tim Mack camp now than the mid 150 or so camp.
Taking
And,
go
say
ahead. I was going to say, just taking a look at a few scores that are in the clubhouse already, and you guys talked about it a little bit at the end of that block. Solomon Salama at plus 140, and then Zach Weidman at plus 139. They're already into 33rd and 34th place. So after that, the next number that is in the clubhouse is plus 202. So a pretty significant jump there from the scores through 24 through C squad. So definitely a gap there for folks to start filling in some spots.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's not looking like 140 is going to get there at this point. Prather's starting to struggle a little bit here on this pair. Seeing some transition. But staying clean, that's the most important thing. Just stay clean until you figure it out. Or try to figure this pair out for the 9th and 10th and bail something out, get off this pair, get to the next pair. Masters golf tournament started today, and sometimes, you know, like the 11th hole at Augusta, you'll take your 4 and move on to the next hole every time. That's kind of what this pair is turning out to be for Chris Prather. But a couple of big games over to our right. I'm going to flip the camera over there. There's one player has the front 9, and one player shooting 279.
The front 9 would be Dimitri Cruz, and then Pontus Anderson making the run at 279. So let's make sure we get that here. Oh, JT's making the switch. Take a look at Marshall, Andrew, and Sorrell.
I'm going to run down there and shoot some additional video of it, Aaron. You give it the big Bull TV call.
All right, I'll be ready. I can handle this responsibility. And on the bonus side, some Norm Duke Messenger. Norm can get into the 250s this game. So here's the scenario, folks. Pontus Anderson stepping up right now at plus 145, so hovering around the cut number. He had a huge first day, struggled yesterday on the 40-foot flat condition. Looking to get going here. This would be a huge step in the right direction for Pontus to get north of plus 200. His first shot of the 10th. Do not like to see that. 2-4-10. Could drop him into the 240s without the conversion, but Dimitri Cruz stepping up to your right. 9 in a row at minus 116. Looking to make something big happen here at the U.S. Open. And goodness, we cannot help the folks out today with the strikes and the big situations. JT, what did you do?
We stayed undefeated. That's what we did.
Undefeated, never lost. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Norm is having a rough day. Rough day for Norm.
Big game for Tommy Jones. Going to be in the 270s. He was another player kind of hovering around just above that cut number. He was at plus 164 heading into this game. He's going to make the big move. Gonna get to plus 220, plus 230 area. The fill ball left to go.
Let's jump back over to Prather, Buttriff, and Sescriba. Sescriba finishes with 238. Jacob bails out 225, and Prather now trying to bail out 210. Nice shot.
JT, I gotta ask now. If looking at the scores in the clubhouse, Brandon Novak plus 202. Once again, a great comeback for Brandon after being minus 85 after day one. And Brad Miller plus 204. Is there any sweating going on for those folks at the moment? Thinking about this top 36?
Whew, that's a good question. I just talked to Tim Mack on the way back to my seat, and he said the scores are going through the roof. He still feels comfortable that 190 is the number. It's going to be safe. But, yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be making my plans for tomorrow just yet.
But the good news for the folks on Bowl TV, you can make your plans for tomorrow because we'll be back. 2 rounds. So the schedule a little bit different tomorrow as we cut the field down from 108 players to 36 at the conclusion of competition this evening. Those top 36 players will return. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. local time, for another 8-game round just like this. And then the top 24 will advance to the opening round of match play, round-robin match play. 3 rounds of it, 24 additional games. That'll start at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 local time in Reno. But, of course, all available here on BowlTV.com.
It was a huge bailout for Chris Prather shooting 223 there, especially with the number creeping up the way it is.
Might not have enough yet. Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, he's still going to need a couple of decent games coming down the stretch to lock up his spot and maybe seal the fantasy draft for Team JT.
.257 that game for Perry Crowell. He is 272 over this block. Tommy Jones finished with 277. He's 171 over for this particular block. Any other big games? Zeke Bate continuing 256. Zeke in a similar position to Prather, starting the day minus, making a big run. Richie Teese, 278 that game. He's 227 over for the day. And now we're moving. We are moving. Next pair up. Yeah, Teese was -1 today to start, and now he's at +226. And I feel Russo's sorry about that. I was looking at a different pair. I do feel Russo's plus-minus is not correct up there. Plus 622 now the number for Jacob Buttriff.
Yeah, that's a big number. And we said maybe he could get to 700 if he kept going at the pace he was. And that's still certainly within the realm of possibilities. Prather with the 4.9 there in the second. He's already made it once today. Can he do it again? I'm going to say yes. In fact, I'm so confident that he's going to make it, Aaron Smith, that I'd be willing to bet my winnings in the fantasy draft.
Well, that's just unfair, JT.
When you're on, baby. What can I say?
What can I say? I can say shenanigans. Dirty, rotten shenanigans.
That was big, though. You know, he can't afford to hiccup here. He's made a huge run to get himself right back in the tournament. And he doesn't want to give it back here by tripping up the last 2 games. Oh, nasty. Nasty blower 7. Let's see if Jacob can bounce back from that missed 2-4-7 with the double here.
Once again, we talked about, obviously we still have B squad coming up later today, but for C squad, their leader in the clubhouse was plus 512. So Jacob has already cleared that number by more than 100 pins.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I'm still impressed. Rather see if he can make the move off that 4-9 and get back on the strike track. Maybe getting a little bit cliffed. 4-9, he makes the move in a little bit, and ball doesn't quite read it, but just enough. Oh, jeez. Goodness gracious. It's the second stone 8 we've seen Jacob leave like that.
JT not having the chance to really watch much of the first squad since I took every opportunity to not be here during it. Which I thank you for that, by the way.
You're very welcome.
Was there a point? I'm kind of looking around the house across the feeds, and I really don't see any of the right-handers really trying to create too much shape out there. It's all still looks pretty direct, all in the track area. Did it ever get to a point where they had to, as Tommy Jones just sent a messenger for the front 6, did it ever really get to the point where they needed to make the jump?
No, it didn't. In fact, the last game, Chris Barnes, he was just maybe 3 or 4 boards left of where he had started, and he was still hitting it as hard as he could right up the back. So no, you really do not want to get left and hook it. There's plenty of hold, plenty of shim.
Tommy Jones going to be stepping up for a chance at 8 in a row to start on 65 and 66.
Get out of there, 7-pin. Prather has this pair figured out, so he's going to want to execute a few more good shots here. If he can take this off the sheet, he'd be pretty safe with 1 to go.
Batting 1,000 today, JT. So make the switch. 10-pin.
Are you oh, there we go. Yeah, you were right. I assumed you were referring to our black cloud percentage.
Correct.
But technically, we didn't get over there quick enough to be the cause of this one, right?
It was just, the 10-pin was already up. It was the shot was made, or it was in the process of being made. So, but the result is still there. I mentioned top.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, Jillian Bull in a big game here. She can shoot 260.
The Tommy with 277 last game. So picking up a quick 140 over. Just got a update on the scores here after 5. So once again, we are in game 7, so a little bit farther behind. But the current cut line after 5 games is plus 143. So on the way up, Spencer Robarge, who will be on the lanes later tonight. But with that being said, that means Pontus Anderson, Richie Teese, and Chris Prather all ahead of that number heading into that last game. Got Graham Fra. Graham Fa. There we go. He's got the front 7 on 69 and 70.
Jacob slapping the 7-pin out like a toy. I mean, does Jacob finish every game with the back 7 or what?
Kind of have to be 622 over at the U.S. Open.
It seems like he gets on the pair, he struggles early, and then he figures out a little move, and he throws the back 7. And if he ends up liking the pair, not having to move, he shoots 270. Prather went high on this lane last time through the nose. Let's see if he can make the move. Oh, they wanted that one. Wow, that was Jacob's maybe his worst shot of the day right there. Oh, baby. Wow. Prather can still go off the sheet for 228. But he sure would have liked that strike in the 9th and a couple more in the 10th to put himself in the 240s. But a pretty big 10th frame here coming up. 228 would get him above the 200 over number and give him a little bit more breathing room with just one to go.
Gramfaw got number 8 to not connect on number 9.
And it wasn't even our fault. Yeah. Yeah. Tell him, son.
Does Chris know about this yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've shown him this photo?
Yes, I have.
Or a photo of your son in the past?
We talked a little bit about it. Wasn't too weird. Great pitch. So that'll put Prather in the 220s, 228 with one more strike, and that'll put him at plus 202. Man, what a nice move he's made today. Going from minus 55 at the start to 202 over with one game left to go.
There are a few guys who have made the move into essentially the comfortable spot. We've watched Chris a lot, but Zeke Bate has had a phenomenal day. He started the day minus. Same with Richie Teese. And both of those guys looking pretty comfortable right now, which is something you didn't necessarily think or would think heading into the final day at the U.S. Open, being that far back. But these guys, I mean, for Prather, he was essentially, what did he say, minus 55, so it was plus 90 was the cut. So he's 140 pins back to start. And he's been able to get ahead of it this much. Richie and Zeke were in the single-digit minus, so they've had about a 50-pin head start on Chris, but pretty phenomenal.
Sean Rash has had a pretty good day, but having a bit of a struggle here in Game 7. Can throw a double in the 10th to get in the 170s. Still safe. He's at plus 279, but he was whacking him pretty hard until this game. So one more shot for Chris Prather here in game number 7, and he set himself up well for the final game to give himself a chance in this U.S. Open with a lot of games left to go.
$227 plus 201. Jacob at plus 631. check out the end of this game with Rash, Sherman, and Kuba. Kuba's had a nice day, but had some ground to make up. Kyle will be in search of a strong finale as well. $225 would get him to 121 over, and the way scores are shaping up, would need to be thinking 270, 280. To have the opportunity. Gets the second one. Rash is going to be at plus 256, so still in pretty good shape. With just one game left to go here for A Squad competitors at the 2021 U.S. Open, taking place at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. My name is Aaron Smith. Been joined today by Matt Cannizzaro and Jason Thomas. Mike Flanagan anchored our earlier block today. He will be back for the late squad as we begin crunching the numbers once again. To see who will be in the top 36. And not sure what happened. It looks like the plus and minus did not account for the last game. So I mentioned Rash dropped to plus 256 if that number was correct. Had a few scoring technical difficulties over the course of the day. Had to reset the scoreboards there at one point.
Kyle Sherman plus 121 needs a huge game here to have a chance. off to a good start.
You feel he's going to need at least 260, 270 here to even get into the conversation the way we have seen things develop.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Prather is actually at plus 201. The score you're seeing next to his name is not updated just yet.
Scores on line through 22 games here for A Squad, and the cut has moved to plus 149. Which belongs to Francois Lavoie, the two-time U.S. Open champion, who will be bowling our final squad tonight starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. Right here on Bull TV.
Let's go back over to Kyle Sherman, see if he can get out of the gate with a double here.
Kyle, another player who started the day in the minus.
Well, that's going to put him in must-strike territory. So he can either miss in his next frame with a spare or the 11th. If he still wants to keep his hopes of getting to 190 or better over alive. Tim Mack keeps coming around and showing me the piece of paper that he wrote the cut score on, and he keeps emphasizing the number, which was plus 195.
Kyle did not like that one from the get-go. 3-6. Drops the max down to 268. We'll head back to Prather and Buttriff after the spare conversion.
Well, this is it. Kyle's going to need to go off the sheet. He's at plus 121. There's one. Prather is bombing them today.
You were never scared, were you, JT?
I had confidence. I thought he would get there. I didn't think the scores were going to be this high today, but I certainly did have confidence that he was going to make a run. That's why I picked him. That and the fact that he's my son. Oh, get out of there, 10. Don't even think of standing.
Get out of there, 10. Don't even think about standing. I like it.
All right, Kyle Sherman must strike territory. He's at plus 121, contrary to what the scoreboard reads. Oh. Are you kidding me? 2 messengers? Wow.
That could do it, JT, for Kyle Sherman at the U.S. Open. We've got another update. We're up to plus 154 now for the cut. Anthony Nyer.
There you go. There's Tim Mack.
Highly emphasized and circled.
Well, he wrote originally at the start of this block, he wrote cut plus 195. And then every time he's come by the table, he adds another, one of the times he circled the 195. One of the times he added the exclamation points. The other time he added the underlines. Another time he added the arrow. So I think he thinks the cut's going up.
All right, we are, as we mentioned, up to date on scores. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Leading overall and on the squad, Jacob Buttriff plus 631. Next up on A squad, in 5th place overall, Bill O'Neill plus 383. Mitch Hoope plus 379 in 6th. Perry Crowell plus 371 in 7th place overall. Tommy Jones, 277, 253 his last two. He is in 10th place at plus 294. Matt Russo at plus 281 in 11th. Zeke Bate, what a day for Zeke. He was 281 over entering this game with a 190 game. Plus 278 overall in 12th place. Richie Teese, 267 over on the day to get to plus 266. He's in 15th overall. Marshall Kent is at plus 257 in 17th. Rash at plus 256 in 18th place. Thomas Larson at plus 221 in 23rd. Dallas Leong plus 210 in 25th. So Dallas trying to make both cuts here. Made match play at the Masters and one good game away from securing his spot, the top 36 here at the U.S. Open. Then we go to Prather in 28th place at plus 201. Graham Faw plus 198. Kim Bowlby plus 196 in 30th. Pontus Anderson plus 192 in 31st. And then the next player on A squad after that. So all those players are currently in the cut line at the moment. Then we go all the way down to Kyle at plus 121. So now it's imperative for the guys who are in that situation the folks like Pontus Anderson at plus 192, Kim at plus 196, Graham at plus 198, Prather plus 201. Don't let it get away. This is the time. We've got some guys who I mentioned were above that number who are giving some pins back. I mentioned Richie Teese at, I believe he was 226. Oh, 266. Okay, he's a little safer. Dallas Leong, though, we mentioned at plus 210. Taking a look at live scoring, his max score 195 over there on 39.40. So Prather should be good here. Let's see if we can head over there real quick and get the end of Dallas's game. So Dallas is going to be stepping up here on lane 39 momentarily. Max with Callum Bork and Bill O'Neill. Bill is safe. Mentioned Kim Bowlby. He shot 265 that game. So he should be safe. Pontus Anderson, 226, moving in the right direction. This is up to Dallas. Big shot in the ninth there. Big shot. Marshall Kent. 173 that game. Drops him to plus 230. We're thinking that's still good, though. Graham Faw, 214, his max. He was at plus 198. That might be a humongous 10th frame for him. if he's able to double. 214 would put him at 212 over versus 204, which would be 202. Thomas Larson, he's going to be safe. He's goes 267 that final game. So potentially cut deciding shots here for Dallas Leong. Grandpa did get that double, so that's going to help him out here. He's actually going to go ahead of Dallas regardless of what happens, but huge shot right here. Want to have it. Need to have it. Got it. Big shot, Dallas. .214 finish for Graham Fosso. He got to 212 over. He knows he needed it. Knew how big that was. Humongous 9th, 10th, and 11th right there for Dallas. One more strike right here, and he'll finish at plus 205, which also puts him ahead of two players who are already in the books, Brad Miller and Brandon Novak at plus 204 and plus 202. We have Chris Prather ready to join us in just a moment, folks. We'll bring him on here after Dallas's final shot. That'll put him at a tie at plus 204. Overall with Brad Miller. All right, with that, let's bring in JT's favorite individual right now, I believe. Chris Prather.
What's going on, guys?
What's
Chris,
up, man?
It's great to see you. Fantastic performance today. With the way the scores have jumped up, starting the day in the minus 50 range. Just talk about what you did out there to put yourself in position to make this cut.
Yeah, I personally think I'm going to be about 10 short, but I had a little heart-to-heart with myself last night and told myself I was being very stubborn on how I was playing the lanes and trying to do what I'm best at, which is playing left. And with Mr. Hoagland on the lanes and coming up with the patterns, he doesn't really like it whenever people play left. So I really committed to playing straight and just balling down and honestly kind of playing him like a left-hander would. Keeping the ball in front of me and controlling the pocket. And fortunately, I bowled significantly better today than I did the last couple of days. So you guys get to see me without my glasses so I can see.
So I think you're probably safe. I mean, if you want to hang out and do some therapy in the booth and call this next round, you can. But assuming you get in tomorrow, how do you feel your chances are, with the pattern for tomorrow and how well you bowled today?
Well, I actually didn't practice on it on practice days, so I don't really know. I think the game plan stays the same, playing straight and just controlling the pocket. I know I'm going to need a big number tomorrow as well if I'm going to try to get to the top 24. But, we'll see. I might take you up on the call in the next round just so that be around just in case there's like a roll-off or something. But, today was way, way better than the last 2 days. Honestly, when I talked to you guys at the Masters, I've bowled horrendous since then. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I did pick you first for our fantasy team. I don't know if you knew that. You were my number one pick.
I didn't know that, but I do know that there's some Wichita guys that did like a little fantasy draft too, and I wasn't picked. So,
wow.
Well,
they're fools.
They
what
felt
do they know?
good about the pick after yesterday, and today they're probably a little salty taste in their mouth. But I think the last 2 days were just a mental grind, and I failed at that. Didn't really play the lanes the right way, never really saw what the lanes were telling me to do. And today I had a better game plan, wasn't as stubborn, really committed to my moves. And I had what, like 250 over, something like that?
Yeah, you were, I think 270,
270.
276 over. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's almost a high game for the week so far. I mean,
Well, Chris, I've told you this before, but I think one of the reasons why I root for you is because you are a doppelganger for my son. So every time I see you, man, I want to see you do well. I was super happy to see you do well today for a number of reasons, but good luck making the cut. If you want to come back and do some therapy with us tonight, you're always welcome in the booth. I think you're in, so you're going to want to probably get some rest for tomorrow, but great bowling today, and good luck the rest of the week, assuming you do make it.
I appreciate that. I might have to reach out to your son and maybe we'll play a little prank on you or something. That'd be hilarious. It'd be good content.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the week, Chris. I think you're in, but we'll certainly be watching and rooting for you tonight.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. All right, JT. There we have it. A fast and furious, absolutely nuts round 3 A squad.
Yeah,
I mean, U.S. Open.
Yeah, I knew it was going to get crazy, but man, I mean, that was fun to watch. I mean, we watched, basically our leader Jacob Buttriff just take the number way out there. I mean, I think he could have gotten even more, but I mean, he's just whacking him. So he's going to be the guy to beat. But Chris Prather, I think he did enough today to get himself in the cut for tomorrow. Like he said, he's going to have to have another big day tomorrow. But a bunch of players moved from out of the number to into the number. And they've really set the bar pretty high for this next squad coming up tonight at 6 p.m.
And that's that's going to be the big thing for the competitors on B squad. Obviously, you kind of talked about C squad seeing it a little bit differently than A squad, and A squad going to town out there. What did B squad learn during all this, and how will they apply it? We're going to find out on Bowl TV, folks. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy down the stretch. We got cut numbers. We're going to be absolutely refreshing over again to check those out over the course to see who's going to be that top 36. And that now we got 2 folks at plus 204. What's that going to be all about? How much excitement will we have with that? But the only way to find out, folks, is by watching Bowl TV. So we appreciate everyone joining us throughout the course of the day. We appreciate Chris stopping by after that block. Just an impressive performance to get go from minus 55 to north of plus 220. Phenomenal bowling. So with that, for Mike Flanagan, Matt Cannizzaro, Jason Thomas, I'm Aaron Smith. We're going to go ahead and sign off, take a quick little break. Once again, 9 p.m. Eastern. So that one went fast, JT. We got a full 2 hours before we start up again. So everyone have a great couple of hours. And please join us again on Bowl TV. We'll be back. This is the one you don't want to miss. Tell your friends. The giveaway is coming up too. We didn't give anything away yet, have we, JT?
No, it's all on the line coming up at 6 p.m. tonight.
Giveaway tonight. Yes. Let's get it. Cut line, giveaway, U.S. Open. This is what it's all about. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you again for joining us here on Bowl TV. Remember to tell your friends about the super promo, $49.95 limited time offer, ends Saturday for a year of Bowl TV. But we're taking a quick break, fueling up. We're going to get ready. It's going to get wacky. Final round of qualifying U.S. Open coming up next here on Bowl TV. And remember, folks, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. We'll see you soon.